So we need to comprehend here what God is saying when he tells us to fight the good fight of faith and be able to look in the mirror after today's message. And if we need a mental adjustment, we need a attitude adjustment, don't be afraid to make it and shift over fighting the fight of faith into the fight of faith is a good fight. Pastor Harris, you're overcooking my grits here this morning now, Jack. I can't. Well, just hang with me over the next 30, 40 minutes, and we will encourage you to make that adjustment if it needs to be, where the fight of faith during COVID is a good fight. So, makes sense to me that we need to comprehend and understand exactly what God is saying. So we know what a fight is. It is conflict. It is a battle. It is a tussle. It's a fight. We've all comprehend what fighting is. I mean, you can turn the TV set on and see a boxing match. That's a fight, or WWF or whatever else. We understand the word fight and what it states here in the Bible is the same in the Greek. It's the same in the Hebrew. A fight is a fight. The next key word is good. And this is where there can become lots of different definitions, but there's only the right definition. This word good, it takes us into heaven. And it means through the eyes of God. How is God looking at us as we fight this good fight? Okay, the fight of faith is a good fight, and so when God looks at you and he sees you walking by faith during this time of COVID, it means that you are beautiful. God sees you in this midst of this fight and says, wow, this is beautiful. This is handsome and beautiful to look at. God enjoys looking at you as you trust in him, believe in him, and as the fifth part of God's team, you are doing what it is you are supposed to do. So this word good, it means beautiful and handsome to look at through the eyes of God. In other words, God looks at you and goes, all right, wow. Keep it up. Take a look at this. Look at what my child down there on the earth is doing during this time of COVID. Consider this. Did any of you ever witness or watch your child, your baby, take their first step? And one, the joy and the laughter on the face of the baby, whatever age they were, when they took their first step, they're up there with hands on the coffee table and then they finally take off, however way they did it. But as a parent, when you watch them start running, you go, wow, it is exciting. It is beautiful. It is handsome. It is, look at them. They're doing it. They're up. They're moving. They're walking. Okay, so God, when he watches us as we are walking by faith, he said, this is good. In other words, God is saying, I am enjoying what I am seeing because they are walking by faith. So he calls it a good fight because he's enjoying. He's watching you deal and handle and do the things that you need to do that are pleasing in his sight. Remember, without faith, it is impossible to please him. And so now all of this makes even more sense as you walk by faith, as you live and you deal with COVID-19, and it is a good fight to you. God says, all right, way to go. Back in the day in Portland, it would be, give me a high five, Jesus. Give me a high five, angels. Man, look at my child down there in Tacoma or wherever you live. And they are dealing with this thing by faith. Beautiful, handsome to look at. Again, this word good takes you back into heaven and it shows God's attitude and what God is doing. And he's watching you during COVID-19 and how you are walking by faith. The second part of the definition of this word good, it is valuable, it is virtuous, it is magnificent, it is praiseworthy, it is noble, it is purity of heart. So we take a look at the next word, valuable. As you consider, as you deal with the fight of faith, that it is a good fight, God says this is really valuable in heaven. Wow, this means so much, and it creates value in heaven. Not only during this time, but once you get through COVID, God takes a look and sees how you made it through. And because it is valuable, you are going to get great reward because of how you handled the COVID-19 situation. So it is valuable now. It is valuable when this thing is over because of reward that's coming your way. Remember that he reward those that diligently seek him. So as you walk by faith, and it is a good fight for you, you understand that God is looking at you, God is watching you, and God is happy with what he sees. Next, it is valuable to God. And so God is going to richly reward you. Next, it is virtuous, it is magnificent. God is giving those around him in the throne room high fives. He's telling the angels, take a look at this. This is magnificent. Look at them walking by faith as they go through this time of COVID. Next, it is praiseworthy. In the eyes of God, he is heaping praises upon you. In other words, that a boy, way to go, the old slap on the back. One of the things I loved about sports, playing high school football, college football, was after you made a good play and you got off the field, you went over on the sideline to take a break, there was high fives, there was fist pumps, way to go, you stopped them, big hit, you did your part, great job. Coach is saying, keep it up. And this is what is going on in heaven from God's point of view towards you right now as you are walking by faith and you consider it a good fight. God says that your actions are praiseworthy. Think about that. Praiseworthy. From God. I mean, it's great to be praiseworthy from other human beings. And many of us, wow, it's good when somebody gives you a positive comment and a way to go. And consider children how they need that. And you tell your child, great job, et cetera, et cetera. And you even think about animals, let's say a dog, and you teach the dog to sit. And the dog sits and you give him a treat. See, what are you telling the dog? You are saying, you're heaping praise on that dog. You give him a treat. Next time you tell him to roll over, the dog looks at you like, now you're going too far. But when you tell the dog to sit and the dog sits and give him a treat, that's really good, right? That's praiseworthy. And so here on this earth, humans, we do a lot of praising other people for what they do, which is great. But it goes to another whole level when you understand that in heaven, as you walk by faith during the time of COVID, that your actions are praiseworthy in heaven. In other words, God is heaping praises. God is turning to his son, Jesus, and saying, look at this. Wow. Look at my son. Look at my daughter. They're in Australia and how they're handling this. They're in New York, Frisco, how they're handling this. Look at how they're handling this down in Florida, or over in Spokane, Washington, Seattle. Praiseworthy. And for me, this one is huge because I want God to look at me during COVID and heap praises to the heavenly host about my actions. Amen. Finally, God says that as we walk by faith during this time, he says this is very noble. In other words, high esteem. This is so respectable, fighting the good fight during COVID. And he says that this is an indication of your heart condition. And remember that God doesn't see as man, but God looks at that heart. So he ties all this together, this word good, the definition, by saying that it is heart condition. Out of your heart, you are believing and trusting God. Out of your heart, your physical actions are in demonstration of faith and not fear. Out of your heart, you are showing faith and not a whole lot of verbal nonsense. Out of your heart, then, you are demonstrating to God physical actions which are to him, God, beautiful, handsome to look at. God is enjoying looking at you during COVID because of your heart condition and how you are handling yourself unto him. Next, this is valuable because it is laying up reward for you during COVID-19. There's going to be rewards and blessings. After COVID, there's going to be reward of your action. Next, God is saying it is virtuous and magnificent. Wow. God using that term on you, about you, during COVID-19. So you're not picking up the cat and drop kicking the cat and grabbing dishes and throwing dishes around the house and cussing and swearing, and you're not walking around your home saying, "Where is God? And why don't he do something?" Instead, your words are filled with faith, hope, and belief. So much to where you become a praiseworthy person to God. And out of his mouth, he is heaping praises upon you. If you can do all that, then you can say, I am fighting the good fight of faith, because this is the testimony that God is speaking, God is giving of you, even at this minute. The good fight of faith. Good meaning through the eyes of God. How God is looking at you. God looks at faith. He calls it a good fight. And now it's up to us to live up to the very definition